So from that day forward, I began to meet up with this Navy SEAL by the name of Scott Helvenston. And thankfully, it was no longer these beatdown sessions. It was more of a building up. In fact, I moved on in life from just being Bubba to eventually I became Junior. He took me under his wing as he's mentoring me and preparing me to make it through training. And he got me ready, so I signed up. And Scott took an opportunity, as he put it, to go overseas again, telling me, who knows, Junior, perhaps I can make a difference. And the way that it all turned out on the calendar is he was gonna leave just before I leave for boot camp. So he's calling me, telling me, all right, Junior, about to go do this thing, referring to going to Iraq. And he says, I just want you to know something that I've never told anybody that I've ever trained before. So of course, I'm pausing, taking a breath, hitting record in my brain. These words that he's about to send over are gonna be very important. He says, I know you're going to make it through SEAL training. And to hear those words from him, I don't know how to put it other than like literally those words meant the world to me. And I was so excited, so expectant about, what the future holds and looking forward to, proving him right and making him proud. And so he's just reminding me of the timeline, how he's only gonna be gone a couple months. It's pretty short. And I'm about to do Navy boot camp, which is about a couple months. And by the time I start SEAL training, he's already gonna be back. And he says, we're gonna see him make it through. And so we say our goodbyes. Can't wait to see you when you get back, Scott. So he's gone. I'm days away from going in. And I'm getting up one day, turning on the television, and as I look over at the screen, I can't believe what I see. I see a picture of Scott smiling. And I'm like, what is Scott doing on TV? He didn't let me know he was gonna be on TV again. He was on TV all the time. He's this phenomenal athlete. He holds all kinds of records. He's the youngest man to ever make it through SEAL training, 17 years old. He's a world champion pentathlete. He was the fastest Navy SEAL in the SEAL training obstacle course. You might have seen him on TV on a program called Man vs. Beast, where he was the only man to beat the beast on a program. They put him up against a chimpanzee through an obstacle course, and he pulled ahead of that monkey on the monkey bars, okay? That's true. You could YouTube that sometime. So, what's Scott doing on TV again? I thought he's in Iraq. This is a smiling image. And then I see in the lower third of the screen, Scott's birth date followed by a dash. And it says March 31st, 2004. And before I could really translate what that means in my mind, this still image of him smiling cuts to graphic video footage. First, a vehicle burning in the background is the vehicle Scott was in with 3 others. And now they have Scott and these 3 others in the street. They're lifeless. They're already dead. And this angry Iraqi mob have sticks and rods, and they're beating and just trying to mutilate their bodies, wrapping rope around their legs, hooking them up to vehicles, dragging them through the streets of Fallujah. You might remember seeing this. He was one of these private contractors with Blackwater in Fallujah. As they ultimately took these guys to the Euphrates River Bridge, stringed them upside down, setting their bodies on fire, and chanting in Arabic over and over a message for us in America. They're saying Fallujah is the graveyard of Americans, repeatedly. I think pretty needless to say, I'll never have the words to describe what those surrounding events were like. You don't go forward the same person. There is a little lesson to take away from it. It has to do with dealing with adversity. We've all faced adversity if you made it this far in life, and it's not a singular event. There will be more. And so it's good to prepare your mind in advance for certain things you have no control over. You can't custom pick the adversity that you face. So if there's no choice in that, where do you have a choice? You have a choice in the way that you will respond when it comes your way. And so in the SEAL teams, part of our SEAL creed is forged by adversity. Those are the things that actually make us. And so we are the determiners of whether or not adversity will be a wing or a weight. Will it be a weight that just sinks you, leaves you knocked down, never to get back up again, or will you find a wing in there, a way to rise to the occasion somehow? And so for me, I guess you could say I found my wing in reflecting back, just like most of us do when we lose somebody. You go back to the last conversation you had with them. You go over it in your mind. What did we talk about? What was said? And remember Scott's words where he says, Junior, I know you're going to make it through SEAL training. For me, I guess you could say that was my wing right there. That was what began to forge the process. That's what became my fuel through that adversity, that I want to do this, but for so much more now. Realizing that freedom isn't free, and really having a special appreciation for the fact that it's paid for in the currency of our soldiers' blood on the battlefield. I want to walk in my mentor's footsteps. I felt like I'd have no closure until I did this in honor and memory of him.